Happy Wednesday, everybody. Brian Terrian here from the Disability Digest with Mr. Philip Price.
Hello, everybody.
Thanks for joining in, Philip.
Yes, sir.
Welcome. And here at the Disability Digest, we do these live events with the intent to help you get your disability benefits approved if you're not already, help you keep them, and help you maximize them. In today's event, we're going to talk about new free tools, not totally new, to help you do just that. We're going to show you how to use some of the new AI tools that are out there. We did an earlier version on this about 6 months ago, and it was very popular. And what inspired me to do this again is last week I spoke with a member, Dennis, and he said, I just wanted to thank you because we were approved at the initial application in 5 months. And one of the things that we did that we felt made a difference in our approval was we used the information from your AI training session to write a statement that goes in with your initial application. We call it a case theory. So shout out to Dennis being approved in 5 months, which slight side note, there's a bit of optimism on what's going on. He is not the only one that we've heard from that have had relatively decent approvals, like where they should be in like the 5-month range. So that gives me some hope that the logjam at Social Security is like getting unclogged. So got to have something to look at. It's been bright because there's been what 1,000,004 cases in the system, and it's been slow decisions. All right. So also today, we are going to, after we're done with our AI event, we're going to take some questions. You can either call in with your question. Philip and I will answer it, or you can enter your question in the chat. And as we get closer to the end, I will put the call in number up. It's an all new call in number. Right, Philip? We ready to roll?
Roll.
Oh, and a shout out to Jam. She's a bit under the weather today, so she will not be joining us. I sure hope we don't screw up because she's really key in this. All right, let's get into it. I'm going to share my screen here. So first of all, before I share my screen, I want to just reference the prior events that we have done on this that were done about 6 months ago and how you can find them. If you are watching the this event on YouTube, in the description, you will see that there is a link to the prior events. And this is one such event. So about 6 months ago in June, we did an event that a series of events. There was 3 of them, and the first one covered finding treatment options, how to find jobs using the artificial intelligence ChatGPT, and then in the second part, it was information to help you get your benefits approved, which was like legal briefs, the case theories, getting third-party support. That's the segment that I referenced that Dennis used. And then in the last one, we covered how to find housing and contact your local representative. So those 3 events you can find in the description, or you can also search our YouTube channel, The Disability Digest. And when you arrive at the YouTube channel, you will see that there is this live tab right here. And this shows today's live event. But if you select the live events that we've had and then go back into June of last year, you will find those. All right. So that is the prior one. So there's been some changes and some updates. This area of like ChatGPT, artificial intelligence is really developing fast. We rely on it here at the Disability Digest for a variety of reasons. And I encourage you not to be intimidated. And I hope some of you out there have never used this before. And this is an opportunity for you to understand how you could use it, or if you've used it, perhaps there's different ways that you would be able to use ChatGPT or other AI tools as what I refer to as a thinking partner, right? So some of the examples that I want to go through with you is like healthcare resources. And when you are using a search tool like on the internet, the searching on the internet is different than ChatGPT, which you're looking at on our screen right now. Now, you can get ChatGPT for free. There is no charge for this. You can just go search ChatGPT in any web browser, and you will be able to open up an account. And when you log in, you'll see what I have here. And so the key is creating a prompt that is relevant for you. And that's what I've got some different prompts here. And then if you call in or you have things that are relative to this, and perhaps we can fine tune it and help you find something that I'm going to go over or something different, right? Now, what I'm going to put in first is, and I'll read it in case you're not able to see it, is I'm going to put in a prompt that says, what information on healthcare resources are available for individuals, it should be on a fixed income in Charlotte, North Carolina. And some of the other prompts I will get like more detailed or more granular. So you enter in your phrase about what you're looking for, and then you select enter. And it will come up with a list of 10. So it came up with a list of 10 different resources. You may know of some of these, some of them you may not. But this is a way in which you can find what is available in your area. And it is in tune with the geography. So if you didn't put Charlotte, North Carolina in here, then your research would be very, very vague. You can see right here, like this is Mecklenburg County Health Department and different places to look. So key is location, exactly what you're looking for. Now, I'm going to move on to another category. And one of the things that inspired me to do this is we get a lot of feedback from our members here at the Disability Digest that are approved, living on a fixed income or going through the approval process. And frankly, with the inflation and the low cost of living increase, it's just difficult to make ends meet. And this is another way or another tool that you could use to find resources. Okay, so this next one that I'm going to put in is for food resources. And it's a little bit more in depth. For those of you that are joining us, I see people are just piling in here. We are going through different ways that you can use a free AI tool as a thinking partner to find resources in specific areas. And then we're going to take some questions in a few minutes about this or other disability related topics. Okay. Here's the next one. And Philip, I've got one for Austin, Texas coming up, so you have been left out. This one reads, I'm a Social Security disability recipient struggling to live on a fixed income. What information or resources are available in Fall River, Massachusetts to obtain, it should be healthy food at affordable prices. So it even corrects spelling. We'll make that correct there. Okay, I'm gonna hit enter. So if you're in Fall River, Mass, you're looking for healthy food, what options are there available? Um, and it's cooking up the response here. Okay. Let's see what we have. All right, SNAP, WIC, food pantries, community meal plans, churches, Fall River, solid idea. Local farmers market, discount grocery store, couponing and discount, Massachusetts health incentives, HIP. So here's 11 different resources, Meals on Wheels, that you have access to. So that is how you could use this as a thinking partner to obtain food, right? Now, another one that there's some relief for is utilities. And utilities are local, these are local resources. There's no one size fits all on a national basis. So this prompt here reads, I'm a Social Security disability recipient struggling to live on a fixed income. What information or resources are there in Austin, Texas to help me save on electric and gas? You'd have both there, right? Electric and gas, Philip? Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's see what we have here. All right. In Austin, Texas. Austin Energy Customer Assistance Programs. All right. Manage energy bills. Low income home energy assistant program. Weatherization. I don't expect that would be for winter weatherization. Property assess cleanup financing. I don't know about that one. Energy conservation programs. That's a good idea. Budget billing, energy saving tips, financial counseling. Good. So there's 10. Now I'm going to change the prompt a little bit and the area. So I'm going to go from where Philip is to where I am. And it's going to read, I'm a 42-year-old single mom of two girls, 14 and 16, live on a fixed Social Security disability income. What information and resources are there in Burlington, Vermont to help me save on electric and gas? All right. Now, let's see what we have here. Any standouts? Efficiency Vermont, I am familiar with them. We'll start at the top. Weatherization, similar. Burlington Electric Department Assistance Program. Energy efficient, community agencies, utility billing. Food banks, assistant programs. Another one, a few other ideas that you could use this for. Taxes. Like if you're a homeowner and you pay property taxes, that would be a good one. Also, another one is in the other work that we covered, accessible housing. You could use this for support groups. What type of support groups are there? Or I've done it for condition research, legal aid. And on a personal note, this Sunday I made dinner for the family, and I made meatloaf, which I know how to make, but I wanted just to ping a basic recipe to see like what type of ingredients, maybe I missed or the quantities or stuff like that. So for recipes, I use this a lot. Realize that this doesn't have to do directly with what we're doing. Everybody's got to eat, but so there's different ways that you can use this as a thinking partner, and that's the point that I wanted to make. So just as a recap, the prior sessions that we had, you can find on our YouTube channel that cover the other topics and more in depth. On our YouTube live, you go back to June and look at the AI lives, or they're in the description that we have. So in a few minutes, I'm going to open up the phone lines, but I wanted to check, Philip, with you first to see if there's any questions that you have from your group you want to make sure that we answer. Your microphone's muted, Philip.
Technology, I gotta get used to this.
There we go. You're back.
All right, let me bring up the questions.
While you're bringing up a question, I'll address. I have one here from Jacob that he submitted in the chat. I had my first telephone appointment next Friday. So what should I expect? I'm 20 years old, diagnosed with cancer 4 different times. Oh, God bless you. So your first telephone interview is really the collection of information. And what's helpful in that is to understand how to communicate your limitations so that when you're asked information from the Social Security intake team, that they put the right connection to your cancer and your limitations. And we can help you do that here at the Disability Digest. You can join us as a member. There's no charge. And then you would have access to a disability approval course that is no charge as well, and teaches you what to do and what not to do as you go through the process. And one of them is like what you need to prove and how to say it. So it's not what you're going to go through on the phone has frankly a minimal impact on your case, but yet it has an impact. A lot of it's going to be your medical records, where the cancer is, what stage it's in, what your treatment protocol is, and what is the reality that you could work on that treatment protocol. So hope you find that helpful. Philip?
All right. If you are unable to work for 12 months due to chemotherapy, radiation, surgery, and recovery time, will you be approved? Now, this continues on. It says chemotherapy was 16 rounds that ran from September to February, 1 month break, then needed to do radiation for 5 weeks. 1 month break, then need surgery, which recovered from that is at least 5 weeks. After chemotherapy, I developed neuropathy and severe fatigue brain fog. So my question is, I was put out my 12 months with no job since I was fired, and I obviously wasn't doing job hunting while fighting for my life.
Right. Yeah. Boy, the cancer questions today. By the way, on our YouTube channel, within like the last 10 days, there's been a video about the cancer and Social Security disability, about the details of what you like addressing this question, but relative to the regulations. But let me just, so go back and look for that. You can just search our YouTube channel for keyword cancer. How long has he been out of work with the treatments? It is a gentleman. Is that correct, Philip?
Yes, 12 months.
Okay. So the short answer to your question is I don't know. It's possible, but here's some information for you. The general Social Security guidelines are you have a condition that's going to be prevent you from working for 12 months or more or result in death. That's like one of the questions that they have. So if you have a treatment protocol that is for 12 months, Social Security could look at this two ways. They could say, well, it's been 12 months and now your treatment protocol is done and you're in the recovery mode. You should be able to go back to work. They could look at it that way. Or they could look at it and say, well, the cancer is severe enough, and yes, you have the 12 months protocol. Your medical records support that you wouldn't be able to work based on the results of the treatment or the severity of the cancer. So it really, I'm not purposefully being vague, but there's a limited amount of information that's been provided for me to be definitive. So definitely, just like I said in the prior comment, would welcome you to join us as a member and get the approval course. It'll help you better understand the, what you need to say and do. Good one. For those of you joining us, welcome. We're just taking a few questions that have been sent in. Then we're going to open up the phone lines here in a few minutes so you can call in and actually ask your question. And that question could be hopefully something in the Social Security area, Social Security disability area, or relative to the topic that we covered in this program today. All right. There more, Philip?
Yeah, it's another one that's in the same line. I am currently working. I may have to stop working soon due to chemotherapy and spinal surgery. Can I apply now? And if I'm approved, still work until I need it or just wait?
Well, the work, I presume, is full-time now, Philip?
Yes.
Okay. So the Social Security regulations for applying for disability are that you are earning less than $1,550 a month and working less than 20 hours a week. My hunch is this person is over it. So you wouldn't be, if you put an application in the system, it would just be an automatic denial based on that. So that is, so you really need to reduce your earnings in order to be able to apply. Yeah.
Okay.
And thanks all of you out there for the get well wishes for Jam. Very nice of you. She's got a fan club. Well deserved. Okay, Philip, what's next?
Let's see here. I was denied in October on initial application. I obtained a lawyer and I'm now on reconsideration phase. Those who have a lawyer, can you please tell me what I should be making sure they do? I feel like they may not be doing what they should for me, just making sure I do everything right this time around and hopefully get that approval. So I guess she's asking what should she be, what
Oh,
should
pick
they
me.
do?
Pick me. I have the answer. Pick me, Philip. Pick me.
You got the answer? Tell us.
So this is how we can help you. This is a classic example. At the Disability Digest, when you join us as a member, which again, as I mentioned, there's no charge. You come in and you can get access to a disability approval course. So for this individual, you would register and by coming over to the Disability Digest, click the green button and follow the prompts. And it's been applied and denied. Have you worked, 50% of the last 10 out of work? Do you have an attorney or non-attorney representative? You'd select yes. And then when your application was denied. What this helps us do is we can put you into a segment of our disability approval course that will show you exactly what needs to be done at the reconsideration stage. So then, and the course is not, it's put together. I mean, I'm in parts of it because I've interviewed the other experts that have done it. But the course is put together with other industry experts. So it's not the world according to Brian. It's Jonathan Ginsberg, Barbara Mountain, attorney Carl Osterhout, and lots of members. So you take that information and you understand, okay, he should have filed my appeal. And in the appeal, he should have reviewed the denial letter, built an argument as to why it was denied, and submitted it. It's because I've learned that from the course. And you contact, say, listen, I'd like to see what you submitted with the appeal, what the statement is, what the premise of my approval is. Then you'll have an idea and you can follow along with the course to make sure. And there's other things that should be done at that stage as well. So that's a great example. Thanks for asking that question.
All right, that's about it for now.
Okay, good. So this is what we're going to do now. I'm going to go over here to our phone line. I'm going to open it up, and then you can call in, share a success story, ask a question. And the phone number is up on the screen. I just want to give you a heads up. It's available while we're live on the call. After that, we're not here to answer it. So just so that you know, it's just for calling in. And the call-in number is 844-717-2454. It's a toll-free number. There's no calls, just free advice. And I saw that there was a comment in the chat that somebody wanted to speak to me, and this is exactly why we do this. So you can pick up the phone, call in. I'd be glad to talk with you. All right. So while that is getting fired up, let's move that over here. Can we use AI for a CDR? Possibly. This is a question from Barry. It's a good one. If your original CDR is very basic information, if it's a short form, if it's a long form, then you would have some remarks that you could submit, and you could definitely use AI to communicate in there. If you are a member at the Disability Digest and don't have access to the CDR course, you can request it by replying to any of the emails that you received or an invite to this event. So, and it's a 10 segment course that will bring you through, but it will show you in the long form where to put the remarks so that you can AI it up and get that done. Okay, so let's see what else we have here for questions. It's just a reminder, you're welcome to call in 844-717-2454. And okay. Thanks for calling. This is Brian. Who am I speaking with?
Brian, my name is Vinny.
Vinny, how are you today, Vinny?
I'm all right. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Vinny, is this
Awesome.
phone number that you called in on that ends in 7080, is that a cell phone?
Yes, sir, that is.
Okay. How can I help you today?
All right, Brian, you've recently helped me go through all the paperwork, preliminary and everything to get signed up for disability.
Yep.
And well, my question basically is, if and when they're going to investigate you or, start quote unquote spying or watching you, at what point would they do that? Would it be, after you're approved? If somebody turns you in, obviously they would do that, but during the initial process of being approved, would they come out and watch you or check you out?
There isn't the only way that I know to address this is just from experience from members, because they don't like Vinny in Social Security's report. They don't say that they would spy on you. But let me address it this way based on a recent example. We had a member here that we were working with that was going through the disability approval process. and went to court. And the judge like went through all of her social media. I don't know if he actually had physical surveillance, but and you know, we're just learning that that's actually not allowed. But my point is that it's possible that they could. I don't know.
Sure.
I don't know that that they don't. So
Okay.
yeah, why do you have a
My
hunch
main,
that
my
something
main reason,
happened or?
well, yeah, actually, yeah. I've spoke with you before, and you actually got my address and Googled my address. I'm out in the
Right.
Black Hills of South Dakota, so
Yeah.
you looked at my property on Google Maps,
Right.
and I'm out in the middle of nowhere. All the people that live around me or have property around me are basically just summer people that come out occasionally.
Mm-hmm.
And I was out walking my dog, let my dog out, and my dog just bolted across to one of my neighboring property owners' property.
Mm-hmm.
And I grabbed a pair of binoculars. I called my dog back first and foremost, and I grabbed a pair of binoculars, and I was looking, and I seen somebody basically going through the woods in pretty much what you would call a winter camo poncho outfit, basically looking towards my property. So I was just kind of curious and wondering.
I mean, I I don't know if anybody else out there that's listening has had any experience, but my first reaction is there's maybe like a 3% chance that Social Security is going to send. I remember looking up your property, which is gorgeous, is that they're going to
Yeah.
send somebody out there, especially with your situation and your work history and all that. I just think it would be a total waste
Yeah.
of taxpayer dollars. But
And that's what I was thinking too. I'm out in the middle of nowhere. To send somebody out, the cost effect of it, just
yeah,
they'd have to drive 70 to 100 miles one way just
yeah.
to get to my property from an office.
Yeah, I mean, the one of the positives, if it was, then well, at least you'd know, and it's not some loony that's snooping around your property, right?
Sure, sure. Well, I know that particular neighbor, that he was whoever that was person was on that property. That particular neighbor has security cameras that will actually alarm them and notify them wherever they are in the United States or whatever. So,
Yeah.
I keep an eye on their property from a distance,
Mm-hmm.
and where other property owners that I know, I literally go onto their property, or when I pick up my mail or whatever, I'll drive over and check out their property just to make everything, secure. So
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if you've thought
yeah,
about
just
anything.
curious.
I don't know if you've thought about anything proactive. I mean, I think I have two thoughts on this. One is it's like controlling the uncontrollables. I think in understanding your situation, you're going to be totally fine. But
Mhm.
on the other side of it, like, who is this? So, if you can get pictures of them
Exactly.
or, right, snuff that out,
Yeah.
it'll give you some
Well,
peace of mind.
just FYI, you know the area I'm in. 911, like emergency responses, won't even show up unless they have police backup or sheriffs, because
Right.
this area is notorious for people basically having a rifle pointed out their windows if somebody comes on their property. So,
Mm, mm,
so it's, people don't like, strangers roaming around out here in this area where I'm at. It's pretty it's a secured development. I would say personal
right,
property owner
right,
secured development. So,
right, right.
for somebody to be snooping around, they're pretty gutsy.
All right. Well, I wish you well with it. Thanks for calling in today, Vinny. Good to hear from you.
Thanks, sir, for your information. Take care.
All right. You bet. Be well.
Bye.
Okay. I see some of you trying to call in and it was busy. Could be because I was on the phone. So the line is open now if you'd like to call back in. It's 877, pardon me, 844-717-2454. Thanks for calling. This is Brian. Who am I speaking with?
Oh, hi, Brian. My name is Barb,
Hi, Barb.
and I have been watching you guys for quite some time, and really appreciate all the information you guys give.
You're welcome.
My question is, so I have been approved for my disability,
Mm-hmm.
and when I was approved on my letter, they were going to do a review in a year, which would have been this last November.
Yep.
And I have never heard a word from them. And I'm kind of wondering, do I call and check with them on what's going on, or do I kind of write it out?
You want to poke the bear, Barb?
I
So,
don't know.
yeah. And these are optional questions if you want to answer them, but it'll help me understand a little more. How old are you?
I'm 60.
60. And are you aware of what the conditions are that like you were approved for?
Yes, so it's vision impairment.
Mm-hmm.
I have what's called Salzman's nodule degeneration in my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And from between the nodules and a couple of surgeries, I also have flat cornea, dry eye, irregular stigmatism, and scar tissue.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very distorted vision,
Mm-hmm.
and the doctors don't even know what to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it is because of that.
Mm.
Um,
Is there
but I
any
know that
possibility for medical improvement?
not at this point.
Okay.
They did discuss a cornea transplant, but 3 of the best specialists in the Twin Cities area,
Mm-hmm.
after they looked at my eyes and went through it,
Yep.
none of them will touch me.
Yeah. Let me ask Philip a question because his disability approval was for vision impairment. Do you know what your review dates are, Philip?
I haven't had one since 2017. I was approved in 14. So
Okay.
that's 3 years.
3.
I
Yeah.
haven't had one since.
Yeah. Yeah. So Philip hasn't had one since 2017. You know, here's the thing. I find your situation interesting because of your age and the impairment and no medical improvement. And it was last week on this event. I don't know if you saw that one that I went through the different criterias and the frequency of review. But typically, if there's no medical improvement, then you would have a longer review date or no review date, right? So, but that's not answering your question. The advice that we receive from the industry expert, James Mitchell Brown, is don't call them because
Okay.
they may have overlooked it, and it may be, and it may just cause them to look a little closer at it or raise suspicion. So my advice, in addition to Attorney Brown's, is just focus on you and your health. There's so many inconsistencies with Social Security that, I mean, if they did everything right, Philip and I would be doing something different for work today. But so
Yeah.
that's my
Well, I know
advice.
it makes me, just sitting here, it kind of would make me nervous. Like, what do I do?
Yeah.
And it took me 2 years and 8 months just to get approved.
Mhm.
And that was with like very poor. My vision at that time was close to 2400, and it's even worse now.
Oh boy.
And I still was getting denied because they were just one of the reasons were that I have working limbs that I was denied before.
Right.
So that's what makes me nervous. Like, do I sit and call, or kind of how do I handle this?
Yeah, definitely. I would not
So-
call. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's very helpful.
Yeah. I have a question for you. One last one. I don't think it's very hard, but your phone ends in 4934, right?
Yep.
Is this a cell phone?
Yes, it is.
Okay, good. So we're gonna spin the wheel at the end. You might win something.
Okay.
Yeah. We gotta make some fun out of this too, right? So good.
Well, I appreciate that you're doing the phone calls now, because I always listen to you, but I can't really type stuff in that well, so
Mhm.
it's hard for me to get stuff typed in for my questions to get answered. So I greatly appreciate this.
Yeah, well, you're very welcome. Good to have you here. All right. You be well. Don't worry about
Thank
that
you very
review.
much.
All right. Okay. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Now, okay. Phone line's open, and here's the next caller. Thanks for calling. This is Brian. Terry, and who am I speaking with?
My name's Bob.
Hi, Bob. How are we doing today?
Oh, all right. I just have a couple quick questions. I was approved in July of 2019, and I looked at my letter, and they said they do reviews every 5 to 7 years.
Yep.
So I don't know, and I don't want to, poke the bear, as you say, and ask them when it's coming up, and trigger them, I guess you might say.
Yeah.
So I just need, if I do get, whenever I get the form, I don't know what it's going to be. I need kind of help filling that out. My other idea was trying the Ticket to Work program, because I know if you get involved with that, they don't do the reviews
Right.
while you're on it.
All right. So we have two questions. Before I forget, is this a cell phone that you're calling in on? The is it
Yeah.
3157? Is that the last four?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. 3157. All right. So for the review question, I'm going to ask you the same questions that I asked Barb. Like, how old are you, or were you when you were approved, either or? And like, give me kind of a 2 sentence or less explanation of why you were approved. What conditions, limitations?
I'll be 60 in July, and that's when they found me disabled in July of 2019.
Okay, I'm sorry. Was that 50
I'll be
or 60?
I'll be 60 in July.
Okay, all right, great. It's the same age as Barb.
Yeah.
All right. All right, and so 60 coming up, and a couple sentences as to how you were approved.
They said it was based on mental
Okay.
anxiety and depression, and
Okay.
they diagnosed me with everything under the sun. I'm seeing my counselor on a regular basis.
Yep.
So,
Okay.
you know,
Let's just go a step further. Before you were approved, what type of work were you doing, like your job title, and for how long?
I was in direct sales. I worked for the phone book, actually 3 different phone books, for approximately 11 years.
Okay. All right. What did you do before, like the 5 years prior to being in the sales in the phone book industry?
I was working part of that time selling satellite dishes, and I sold cable TV for 11 years before that.
Okay.
I had about a 3-year difference between one and the other.
Okay. So sales has been a good chunk of your career, right?
It's been my whole career.
Been your whole career. All right. So,
Yeah.
so here's one thing to think about is on your approval, with your review, they would need to be able to prove that you could do your sales work again because of your age and how long that you were in that industry. And,
Yeah.
I expect if you could do this sales job, you would be doing it. So that's the one thing.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. And with the reviews, my position remains the same as Barb is. There isn't a consistent predictability as to when the reviews are going to come out. But one thing I didn't mention to Barb, but also applies to you, is that the older you are, the lower the probability of a review being issued. And think about it this way, Bob. If your Social Security, they do this program, the CDRs, to make money. They make, for every dollar they spend, they make $7. I believe was the last report. And so they're looking really for people that are younger. The under 40s get reviews pretty consistently. And the closer you are to like full retirement or full retirement age, the less likely you are to have those reviews statistically.
That was my understanding, but I wasn't 100%.
Yeah. The key really is just control the controllables that you can, which is, your doctors, and that. So that's my position on the CDR, right? Can we talk about the work and the ticket to work piece now?
Yeah, sure. I just was curious because, I'm not that necessarily that old, even though I consider me that.
Right. Do you
So
feel you could
I'd
do
like to do
some type of work?
Yeah, but I don't have the experience on anything that sells.
Right.
On that.
Right. I mean, this is regarding the ticket to work. I have met, maybe 5 people that have successfully transitioned back to work through the ticket to work program. 2 of them I have interviewed within the last year that are on this channel. So I'm a proponent of working, but with the ticket to work program, they're structured so that their incentive, Bob, is to get you from where you're at right now back to work full time as soon as possible. That's what triggers the money for the agencies to do this work. So the challenge is that many people that are disability recipients are not in a position to get back to that level of work at all, or at the pace that is like going from 0 to 100.
Mm-hmm.
So what I have seen have a significantly higher level of success is to do something outside of the ticket to work program. You can still go to voc rehab, get a benefit counselor, and they can structure something for you part-time, or you could find something to do on your own and just adhere to the earnings limitations so that you stay within the limit, which we've covered 1,000 times on this channel. But the short story is, if you stay below $1,100 a month in 2024, you can do that for forever. And you don't trigger any trial work months or anything like that, and you can keep your benefits. And now, regarding the reviews, I already spoke to that. I'm not concerned about the reviews, or the reviews having a negative impact. If they are, then there's something about your situation I don't know about. So that would be my thought, is to consider, if you're going to pursue work, the higher probability that I've experienced is to do something, 2-3 hours a day, 4 days a week, make that successful. And then that's going to have no impact on your benefits. And then you can kind of transition. Now, if you've been stable at that level, and then you think you could go into the ticket to work program, that's a different conversation. I think you're going to be in a much better position to do that.
Yeah, I was just curious on the reviews because I was in direct sales for 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
30 years. That's all I've ever done. So.
Right.
And I'm almost 60. So.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Good. Well, listen, I have Bob 3157, the last 4 digits. We're going to spin the wheel at the end. So hang out, see if you win something. All right.
All right.
Good. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you. Bye.
CDR questions. All right. The line is open for the next caller, 844-717-2454. Got time for one more caller. Anyway. Anything to address on your side, Philip? think your microphone is muted.
I'm good on this. Go ahead if you got it.
Okay, I'm just going to address this one from Kimberly. I applied in May 2019 and May of 2020 at the reconsideration stage. I was approved, but I have several diagnoses, including mental, medical, and don't know what I'm approved for. Yeah, that's tough. If you're approved at the lower levels, that was a question that we addressed the other week with Attorney James Mitchell Brown. The award letter that you're sent doesn't address it. The only way to really find out is to request your case file from Social Security. And you can contact the local office where you were approved, and they will address that for you. So that's one way. Then you got to look through, and you can look at more details about your decision. Okay, we have one more caller. Thanks for calling. This is Brian. Who am I speaking with?
Hi, my name is Maurice.
Hi, Maurice. How are you?
I'm okay.
Good. Is this a cell phone you're calling in on, Maurice?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
Are
good.
you able to hear me clearly?
I can hear you clearly. I'm just taking down your number. When you're done the call,
Oh,
we're going to spin the wheel and give away some prizes. So that's why I took it down.
okay.
How can I help you, Maurice?
I recently have been diagnosed with stage 5 kidney disease,
Mm-hmm.
and within the past months, I'm currently on FMLA, and I have to apply for short-term and for a long-term disability. And I was wondering, does the type of dialysis treatment I select impact my eligibility? So there's the mobile in-home treatment, and then there's the one where you go in.
Can I address that? Can I address that one, Brian?
Yeah,
didn't know
yeah.
that.
We have Philip, who is qualified to answer this. So if you can't hear him, let me know, Maurice, and I'll repeat the question for you. So Philip, go ahead.
Okay,
Stage 4 and
I
5
can hear him.
kidney failure is
I'll repeat it for you.
is an automatic approval. Doesn't matter if you're doing in-home dialysis or going to a facility.
Okay.
It still qualifies, and it's actually an automatic approval.
Okay. So Philip, who is familiar with this condition, says that if you have stage 4 or stage 5, that it should be an automatic approval. Now, that's the word automatic in Social Security, Maurice, are, sometimes it doesn't happen, but you need to be clear that your medical records and how the condition is documented clearly states that. And that, like, where are you in the application process? Have you done anything yet, or started, or where?
I have not started at all. That's one
See,
of
is
the
he
reasons why I'm
doing
calling.
peritoneal
I haven't started
dialysis
yet.
or?
I am right now. I met with the doctor, and we're about to set up some time to get the actual catheter put in and begin the treatment. So I'm at the point of selecting what type of treatment, and then going in for it.
Mm-hmm. Just one moment, Maurice. Philip, Maurice is at the point of choosing the treatment. Hasn't selected it yet. Do you have any input?
Is it peritoneal or hemodialysis at home?
So Philip asked if it was peritoneal. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Correct. Peritoneal or hemo.
That's the at-home mobile treatment.
Yes, Philip. That's the at-home mobile option that Maurice has. Yeah.
The peritoneal, and I did that for a year, and it's extremely intense and takes a lot of time at home.
Okay.
Uh,
So Philip is saying that the peritoneal at home is intense treatment, takes a lot of time.
Mm,
Yeah. So it'd be good to ask some questions versus Philip, if you go in for treatment, you think that there's less time involved?
Yeah, if you go into a facility, it's 4 hours, 3 times a week,
Okay,
and you go in and you're done. I mean, 4 hours is a long time
right. Plus commute, right?
per,
yes.
and
Yeah.
but with the peritoneal, it's a lot of when you go into a facility, you know, you have people there that are doing the prepping and doing all of
Sure.
the
Yeah.
dialysis for you, whereas at home in the peritoneal, you are your nurse, so to say. You're doing all the prep. You're having to do all the
Okay. So you self-administer the peritoneal, is that right?
correct.
Okay. So I think what you need to, well, I'm just thinking of it from a time consumption race, you've got 4 hours if you go there, plus your commute, right?
Mhm.
Or
Right.
whatever it is at home and what's involved, which I don't know if you know what that is yet. But that will
Mhm.
help you. But the thing is, back to you, the origin of your question is it's either, it doesn't matter which one you have for a treatment, it's the underlying condition that's going to be evaluated in the severity of it.
Okay.
So just, you know, a few tips if you plan on doing this. Like, how long have you been out of work?
Really, about 3 weeks right now,
Okay.
and yeah. Mhm.
Okay. So, I mean, uh, the disability approval course that we have come in as a member, get set up, enroll, and you can go through and follow the steps in the course and get your application going. But it will help
Mhm.
you understand, like, again, what to say and do. But in addition to that, that what's not taught in the course is just review your medical records to make sure that the severity of the
Mhm.
condition is clearly marked that Social Security can see.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we wish you well, and hopefully we hear back from you in short order that everything worked out and you were approved. All right.
Yep. I mean, thank you very much.
Yeah, my pleasure. All right.
Good luck.
Thanks for calling in.
Yep. Okay. Bye.
Bye. Okay, folks, I am just going to enter everybody's name that called in into the spinning wheel because my trusted assistant Jam is not here today. And we are going to spin the wheel and give away a prize here today. So first caller was Vinny. And then second caller was Barb. And the third caller, and if you're wondering why we do this, is we are in a partnership with YouTube and Google, and they do a revenue share for the amount of people that watch our show. So we give some of our proceeds away in these prizes, and if you receive a gift card from us, which is what we're going to do, then it doesn't have any impact on your benefits. And you can shop. Okay. All right. So 7539. Okay. So here we go. If you're new here, here comes the wheel. This is how it works. All right. So we've got our four callers. I'm going to spin the wheel, and the winner today is going to be sent an Amazon gift card, like promptly right after the show. All right. You ready to go, Philip?
Let's do it.
spinning away. It's going to be sent to your cell phone. That's why I collected the last 4 digits. My God, it's taking a long time today. Tough making a decision. It's kind of like Social Security. Wow. Hang on, folks. It will stop.
Eventually.
Look at that.
Looks like, oh,
What is happening?
hold on.
There it is. All right, Maurice. In the event that you have to travel and get your dialysis, you'll have a little gift certificate, maybe to help you along the way. So listen, everybody, thanks so much for tuning in today. We will be back next week. Next week, we have a special guest. And this time of year, a lot of people are in the mindset, at least here in the north, of getting out, getting away, and going on a trip somewhere. So we have a travel expert who does a lot of planned trips, planned travels for disability recipients, and looks for places that are accessible, if that's what your needs are, affordable, safe. So I'm excited to have next week's guest with us to share some information with you. So mark your calendars. Next week we'll be here at 12:15. And you'll have the same opportunity to call in and ask some questions. So thanks again, everybody. Philip, thank you so much. Appreciate your time, effort, as always, for this. Okay.
Yeah, I want to give a quick shout out to the new moderator in the Facebook group, Holly. Thank you so much for your help. And
That's awesome.
thanks everybody for being here today.
Yep. Yes. Thank you, Harley. Together we can make a difference, or give an effort at doing it. Right. Okay. Cool. Be well, everybody. Thanks again.
Bye-bye.